Now we'll try to summarize information discussed previously to understand those crucial steps, how to create effective monitoring, sanctions monitoring system in your business. I would say there are 4 steps. The first one, understanding your risks, understanding clients' risks, right? So you have one more time, repeat this, calculate risk levels of your business altogether and specifically for each client. Then the next step would be proper KYC process, know your customer, gathering of information. So you collect information on owners and businesses, put it into your internal system, and this will allow screening against sanctions lists to run smoothly. Important here to remember that this information about your customers should be reviewed and updated. It's not static. Clients have live businesses, everything changes, so you update this information because upon update you may find out that someone becomes sanctions target and you have to act accordingly. So proper KYC, step number 2. The third step would be screening. So you gathered all information in a good format, and this will allow to screen your customers plus screen your daily transactions against sanctions list. This is more like technical sort of activity, but I would advise to be a little bit wiser and read additional information on sanctions developments. If your business somehow is more risky in terms of breach of sanctions, it would be nice to keep yourself updated to what happens regarding sanctions. Because you may prepare yourself for future changes, which sort of information maybe additionally you will need to keep about your customers, right? Maybe new sanctions lists have to be added to your screening processes because you plan to go to new markets, attract new customers from new geographies, etc. So, and maybe in these countries, in these geographies, sanctions restrictions will be applicable. They are growing up as a new political development. So keep yourself updated on what happens in the world if your business has any connection to international activity. And also, do not forget not only to screen your clients and services you provide also may be restricted in specific country, in specific context, right? So you have to be sure that not only client but also products and services you provide and where you provide them are not restricted. And you need to have this, to keep this approach to information very systemic, to keep this information in strict format. Why? Because this will lead to more simple and easier one screening process, right? It will allow the system to read the information from your databases and to apply it to sanctions list more appropriately, with less false positives and with more efficient results. And the step 4, therefore, will be a good IT tool, right? Have a good system which you will use to make this screening process effective. The technology remains a key enabler in the effectiveness of compliance everywhere, in all businesses, in all areas of activities, and therefore technology will help you to assess risk, to keep this information in the system, and to make this screening process in accordance with the risk level. Screening process itself will be much easier if it's done by IT tools through the automated system. You can do this manually, of course, but IT tool will make this process much easier for you. And regarding technology, once again, make sure that you have technology which uses timely and correct initial information about sanctions lists. It's current, it includes all necessary changes, and you rely on this tool, on this IT, in full confidence that it uses appropriate information and data. One more advice maybe, don't be shy to ask questions to your clients. Don't be shy to gather information about the owners, about specifics of their businesses, right? So this will allow you to be more comfortable, that you understand what they're doing and what the risks for your business is here related to sanctions. Because a cost of non-compliance in sanctions is very high. You may face administrative and also possible criminal liability based on your local legislation. And do not forget, as I mentioned in previous video, you have to ensure compliance also with other legislation, for example, business related to dual-use goods, right? So keep yourself updated to legal changes and where to find those sources of information in your specific jurisdiction. And to finalize, the principle is know your product, know your customer, and know your legislation. And this will keep you in compliant status with sanctions legislation. Responsibility for compliance with the sanctions regulations remains with your company, not your customers, not your banks, and not your partners. It's only and purely your responsibility, and this also your reputation. Should you breach sanctions, you will face some sort of unpleasant activities, communication with regulators, maybe publicly available information. I'm sure you do not want to do activity like this, to be involved in activity like this. So protect your business, protect your reputation, and we have currently on the market so-called zero tolerance approach. That means businesses demonstrate and regulators expect that you do not have any appetite to violate sanctions. Thank you.